car sales. We're going to be getting started in just a couple of minutes. I can see people are kind of logging in, so welcome to everybody that I see. Hope you guys are doing well today. We're going to be talking to you about email marketing and so many different things that go into it and how to really utilize it to drive ROI and car sales. So stay tuned. We'll be getting started in just a couple of minutes. All right, it seems like we've got a good crowd here, so we'll go ahead and kind of get started. Again, today is all about how to win the inbox and drive car sales. I'm Amy Farley, Director of Marketing and Media here at Force, and I'm going to be your moderator today. Chris Fitch, our Director of Interactive Marketing, is going to be presenting. I'm really excited to hear what he has to say. I've worked with Chris for about 6 years now at 2 different companies, and I know he has a ton of experience that he's going to bring to the table. So I'm really excited to get started. So let's see. We'll go ahead and meet your presenter. This is Chris, Director of Interactive Marketing here at Force. 20 years of experience, but you wouldn't know it by looking at him. Before I hand the reins over to him, just a couple of housekeeping details. We do have a chat on the left-hand side of the screen that you'll notice. Feel free to chat us if you need us to slow down or go back a slide or have any questions about what's going on immediately. There's also a little box at the top of your screen that says Ask a Question. Now this is where you can ask us any questions you have about the content of the webinar, emails, click-through rates, anything like that. Feel free to ask questions throughout the presentation, and we will save them up for the end. We'll be doing a full Q&A session at the end. And of course, as usual, one lucky winner will receive an American Express gift card. So be sure and keep those questions coming. I'll remind you once or twice throughout. And again, you can ask those using the Ask a Question button at the top or in the chat to the left of your screen. So I'll go ahead and hand the webinar over to Chris. How are you doing today?
Doing great. Thanks, Amy. That was awesome.
Great.
Hey, everybody. How you doing? Hope everybody can hear me okay. First off, I'll just start off with a little bit of my technical background. I started off as a graphic designer in 1995. From then on, I went to be a web designer for a web design firm for about 5 years. And that's right when email marketing started getting hot and website design. So I started off with a graphic design background. I moved into web development, and from there I went on to get into email marketing, lead generation. I basically worked with Salesforce, and the past 5 years I've pretty much worked with every automotive CRM out there. So big on lead generation, big on design, and big on email marketing. So fun fact, I've been designing and making websites since they came out. So let's get started. I got a lot of stuff. I had to cut some slides. I had too much stuff. Also, I get super excited about email marketing. So if I start talking too fast or rambling, just type slow into the chat, and I'll slow my roll, calm it down a bit. But let's get started here. Let's go. All right. My interactive team does a lot. We generate a lot of car sales for our dealers. We start with email marketing, create and code and deploy targeted emails on behalf of our dealers. We hit the right consumers with the right message at the right time. That's critical to our email marketing strategy. I'm talking about pearls for a second here because you can get people to open and click emails, but what do you do when they land on your landing page? So personalized pearls stands for personalized URLs. They use variables that carry over from our custom landing pages. They drive even more web traffic and drive more conversions. We also have real-time appointments and real-time alerts for the dealers. You can see who lands on the Pearl in real time. Talking about retargeting and display, I know it sounds like just some banners, but we can create the best and most compliant display banners in our industry. The reason I'm talking about it in email marketing is because technology just came out where we can now retarget people based on opens and clicks. So that's kind of the full circle of how we're going to get people from the open to the click and then drive them to a conversion. All right, why is email marketing critical to your dealership? Dealerships don't recognize tremendous importance and benefits of email marketing. You're going to get lost in the shuffle. People are going to just blow right by you. So average email marketing ROI is 3,800%. That's a lot. That's like for every dollar you spend, you get 40 back. That's one of the highest ROIs in digital marketing. 56% of all emails are opened on a mobile device. That's critical to what we're talking about today because we're going to talk about mobile design and how it's important to your consumers. 75% of smartphone users delete emails they can't read. I'm talking about crappy, non-responsive emails that you can't read on your phone. You know you've all gotten them. They're horrible and they annoy me. So brands that personalize promotional marketing emails get a 27% higher click-through rate and 11% higher open rate. That's one of the key things we're going to talk about when we get in here. We're going to talk about personalization. We're going to talk about dynamic content, variables. It's all really important. 49% do not use email marketing to assist in their email marketing strategy. But anyway, I'm going to get going here. The number of email users worldwide is forecasted to rise to 2.9 billion. So that's a lot, and that means everybody and their grandmother has an email address. All right, first steps. First steps, before we even start talking about email marketing and campaigns, we're going to talk about your audience. We have to identify our audience before we know who we're talking to. So I could ask any dealer, who's my audience? Chances are good they're going to answer anyone who wants to buy a car. That's 100% correct. But what else is that data telling you? When I look at a dealer's database, I like to identify every area of opportunity, regardless of the propensity to buy. That data is telling you that that consumer wants you to talk to them. It can tell you that every person there really needs, and it can tell you the last thing you want to do is waste someone's time. So let's make each campaign count. The right message, the right consumer, and the right time. Know your audience. When was your last oil change? When does your lease expire? When's your birthday? What's your current car worth? How are you enjoying your recent purchase? All these are audience segmentations that really come in to be critical components of each email marketing campaign. So we're going to start by first identifying the audience. Then we're going to move into data cleansing. Let's be real, people change, so does your data. Your data evolves every day just like your customers. Making sure your data is updated and your emails are valid is pretty much the only way you're going to hit the numbers you want with each campaign. At Force, our average deliverability rate is 98.5%. What that really means is I emailed 98.4 of the people in your database that were actually mailable. That metric is the first real look into your database and a key metric in your reporting. So one of the companies, sorry about that. I use Bright Verify. They're an awesome company. I upload a dealer's database. I can validate all the emails in half a second per email. And what that does is that cleans out invalid emails, gets rid of bad characters in the emails. It tells me what I can mail to and what I can't. It also is going to affect my ISP. If I mail to a bunch of people and I got 24% bounce back rate, that's going to flag me for my ISP and probably shut down the email campaign. First impressions. All right, I'm actually showing you my inbox. I got my mobile thing up here on the right, and I got my actual inbox on the left here. So this is not automotive specific, but it's a universal truth to winning an inbox. What's really going to grab my attention as I glance at my inbox? First off, we start with the from name. Who do I trust? And then we start with the from email. Who is this? Subject line. What do you want me to do? Personalization. Do you know me? And the pre-header, which is that gray text under the subject line, that's going to talk me into it if I'm hesitant. So if I'm busy at work, I can quickly see what's important to me and what's not. In this example, I'm probably going to click on the E-Marketing Association, the new announcement, or the Credit Karma down there. First off, because I'm a total nerd and I'm interested in marketing stuff. They won my inbox with trust in the pre-header. Follow marketers. I like that. It's a nice touch for me specifically. Credit Karma wins because I trust them. They know me and they say it in the subject line. Also, according to their pre-header, my score has improved, which really makes me happy because I like having good credit. But I think they won me because they have Chris in the subject line and they also say it again in the pre-header. So they, Credit Karma, hey Chris, your score's improved. I'm pretty much going to click on that. The rest, I'm just going to delete in bulk. So those 5 things we just talked about are critical to making a good first impression in the inbox, and it's part of the first step to winning it. So this is where we again maximize our open rate. We've identified the 5 critical components. Now we're going to break them down. If you've got a bad open rate with an email campaign, it's definitely because of one of these 5 things. I drew little arrows here so you can see what I'm talking about. The from email comes in after the click, and that's just kind of more validating the from name, validating trust. So that's the 5 main things we want to focus when we first touch a consumer. All right. This is one of my team members, Lisa, I think this was yesterday, but it's a really fun subject line, and I think this is a really, really good email. This is why I like it. 2017 Rogue is the new black. I think that's hysterical, it's relevant, it's fun, it's creative. It's not too much. There it goes. I like it. They got the trust. I know Grandstand Nissan. I've done business with them. The email address is Marty at Grandstand Nissan. That's the trust you're gaining right there when you start to win the inbox. Personalization, not too much. It works nicely with this message type. Jeremy, they know what kind of car Jeremy's driving. They know the black book value on it. They're showing it to them. And it's got a real clear call to action at the bottom there, which is also personalized. That's going to go to a Pearl, which I'll talk about here in a minute. But I just thought this was a really fun campaign. It's got messages at the bottom that are really going to work, and I thought it was fun. So stuff like that really helps when you're trying to get people to click on your content and drive them to the landing page. Excuse me. This is also one of our top performing email types, and this is why. It's a personalized message from the dealer. We know it's time for him to upgrade his current vehicle, and so does he. Other than the offers at the bottom, it's really clear where Jeremy needs to click. He's going to click on his Pro down there. It's pretty much his only option. Unless he's uninterested in that message, he's just going to go right to one of those offers. It feels personal, too. I feel like Marty sat down and typed me a personal email, and he's going to offer me a great deal on my trade-in. He's making it all about me, and that goes back to the personalization. That's one of the stats from earlier, 27% higher click-through rates and 11% higher open rates. So these first impressions are really, really critical to the foundation of a good campaign. All right, let's talk about the design for a second. This is the perfect framework for a great email. The one on the left is an auto-intender, /conquest, /saturation, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't have variables, and it has to serve a whole different purpose than the one on the right. The one on the left, we don't know who it is, so we're just giving them their best offer, and the real goal is to drive traffic to the dealer's website and get them to click on one of those offers. They follow a basic framework, and the reason we use these frameworks is because they're very mobile friendly. All those components on the right in the wireframe there, when you're on a mobile, that's going to shrink down. They're going to go under each other, and you're going to get to see pretty much the same amount of email you're going to see on your desktop. Now, that being said, the one on the right is going to perform 100 times better than the one on the left. And it's because it's personalized, and it's got a clear call to action. It's also personalized, and they're telling me what kind of car I should pick. Instead of giving me all these offers and not knowing what kind of car I'm driving, they're telling me. They're going to put me, it says, John, we need your 2005 Corolla. So they know what kind of car I drive. Excuse me. At the bottom, they have a sale price, lease price, and my monthly payment if I upgrade into that Corolla or that Camry. That Camry, I'll be right there. So that one on the right is a database email, and just using the right amount of personalization and segmenting your audience and really knowing who you're talking to, that email on the right is going to kill it. All right, we'll talk about responsive design for a second. Mobile, we talked about the stats about mobile design. 53% of internet users, they're on their phones. They're not going to have time to, open up their Gmail every time or zoom in on an email and move it around. So what responsive design really means is that it's one size on a desktop, and that same email will shrink down to fit on an iPad or iPad portrait, iPad landscape, or your mobile phone. Anything you got is going to fit in there. One thing I've noticed about this is with Highline vehicles, personalization is not always the best approach. So I'm sneaking in a good subject line for you guys because this is one of our top performing emails of this month. And I noticed that with Highline, mentioning the brand in the subject line crushes it every time. So Porsche customers buy on brand recognition. This subject line outperformed all others. Even when we A/B tested against creative subject lines, this particular email got a 3.4% click-through rate and a 27% open rate. So we went from Mac to iPhone. Now we're going to go from iPad to iPhone. So you can see the Maserati email on the left there fills up most of the iPad, and then on the phone, the offers now fill up most of the phone width. So that's going to be a big critical component of having every viewer have the right experience, get the right message. This email got 7% click-through rate and a 43% open rate. So clearly, Highline customers are more interested in what's new as it pertains to their brand. All right, this next slide's fun. I'm going to drink some water real quick. Excuse me. All right. So design matters. Bad design equals bad results. So I'm on about 100 different dealers' mailing lists. So I get different emails all the time. Sometimes I forward to my team, and sometimes I just keep in a folder. This is an example of things I think really don't work. There's a bunch of fonts. There's no real clear call to action. It looks like a newspaper ad you get in the Sunday paper. Every day I'm shocked at some of the stuff I see, and these emails are also built poorly. They're usually just big JPEGs. And chances are, if you click anywhere in this, it's just going to shoot you to the home page, which is the absolute worst place you can take somebody. And it's wrong for a couple of reasons. Most importantly, it's wrong because you don't know what they clicked on. So when they land on the site, they're going to have to do some digging, and that's the last thing you want consumers to have to do. Most likely, they're going to have to give up or search and go somewhere else. So too many offers leads to abandonment. And what we call that in email marketing is a click paradox. And that's when you give people too many options. And it's actually shown that the more options you give somebody, the more it stresses them out. You look at that email, you visually scan it, you don't know what's going on. It's just a lot. It's like fireworks going off in your inbox. So it's just a lot. It's too much to process. There's too many decisions to make. You really want to make it simple for people to zero in on the call to action and get to the landing page and get to the right landing page. So if you're going to make them think, you've got to make it easy. And these look much better now. So these are some ones I've collected just from recently. I found them in the recent folder. So these are some stuff we put out lately that's, I think, really, really nice emails. I picked these for a couple of reasons. Most importantly, they look great. Dealership information is at the top for a quick contact. Event information is moved to the top to generate interest. And the offers are really clean and easy to read. I think I like the Infinity header the best. It's a real good looking vehicle image. And they give me two really good options at the top. They're going to ask me to explore, or they're going to show me some more offers. And I can make a split decision on what I'm interested in immediately. Or I can just check out some other vehicles and do some price comparisons. But either way, you can tell the difference. I'm going to go back a slide. We went from this to this. So if that's not clear on why design is important in email marketing, I don't know what is. But another thing about these emails is they're designed to be responsive. So these images are going to shrink, but they're still going to look just as great on your phone as they do right here. I've got a couple different examples in here. Most of these are events, Highline. The one on the right is a service special. So when we talked about audience segmentation, I'm not going to send somebody who just bought a car an upgrade offer or a new event offer. I'm going to send them a service special because I want to win that service business and keep them. So when we talk about the right message to the right consumer at the right time, we're also talking about the right creative. So that's a good comparison. And also mobile friendly. That Infinity email is going to look great on this. So on a phone, I got a full header right there. I can see the offer clearly. I could read the text. It's just as big as it was in my inbox. And I got a clear view offer button. All right, this is one of my favorite emails of the year. When design crushes it. First of all, sneaking a subject line on you. This is a great one. First name variable. Join us for the 2017 LPGA Marathon Classic. Sounds like a lot, right? I kind of thought so too. When I got the reports back on this, this is one of the best emails we've done all year. This went out for the Chevy LMA. We targeted their entire customer database. After we cleansed the data, it was about 39,000 people that we actually mailed to. This was my first real glimpse into no variable. Well, it's got some variables, dealer variables and like first name variables, but this was like my first really successful email that I thought just crushed it. It's got dynamic content. It's got variable customer dealer info. It's a customer appreciation event. It's giving away 2 free tickets, so that's a great offer. And the one on the right's got video and email. I'm going to talk about that in a sec, but it's really important to getting those clicks and getting the right customers. This email went out to 39,000 people. 135 people bought cars because of this email. So out of 38,000 people, pretty much, the people that opened, 690 that purchased a vehicle received this email. Not all opened. So that investment was $10,480. That made the cost per unit $78. So that's a successful email campaign, and this crushed it. That's an ROI of 16 to 1, and that's a big win for us and a big win for my team. So I thought that was a really great email. Let's talk about that one on the right. That's it looks like it's got a video, but it's really not. It's an animated GIF. You really can't do video and email yet. It's just not there yet. It's got too many scripts. It's actually a security risk, but you can fake it and show them an animated GIF. Problem with that is that the file size starts to get too high. So you just do a little animated GIF loop, and it gives the effect of a video. So when you use a video or an animated GIF in an email, it can increase your click-through rates by 300%, and that's huge. Why you wouldn't do that, I don't know. So I'm sneaking this in. Once you win the click, once you win the open, and once you win the click, you got to convert them. So a lot of people send them to a VDP page. At Force, we like to send them to a PURL, which stands for Personalized URL. This page is built just for John Doe consumer. So when they get there, I already know the car you're driving. I know the black book value. I know your first name, last name, and your birthday. I probably know your phone and email because I just emailed you. So when you get to this page, it's all about John Doe. You can see there in the text it's saying, John's now the best time to trade your 2005 Ford Focus. Then we're going to highlight 5 cars the dealer's offering you that you can trade into. So below that, we actually put a payment calculator in there. And you can actually plug in the down payment you want to put down and see your monthly payments after that. So we take into a lot of calculations, and people really like that. So anyway, another thing about the PURL is that johndoe.fordtrader.com really drives this click-through rate up. This page crushes it with conversion rates. If I send people to a PURL, my conversion rates are 400% higher than if I sent them to a VDP page. And that's a lot, and that's really critical to driving car sales from email campaigns. The text is written for John. His monthly payments have been calculated. As soon as he clicks schedule an appointment on this PURL, I actually fill out the form for him because I know all the stuff. So all he has to do is pick the car he wants, put in his down payment, schedule an appointment. Another great thing dealers like about this is getting real-time alerts. So the second John clicks my email and lands on his PURL, the dealers get an alert in real time. John Doe's on your site. He's driving this. He wants this. And then the only email you get after that's going to be an appointment. So this really, really converts car sales when you're talking about landing pages. All right, testing. So one of the things we use here at Force is Litmus. It's one of my favorite email client testers or whatever you want to call it, validators. We want to make sure that everybody can see the email properly on every device. And I've got a desktop screenshot in here. It's a desktop client. You can track as far back to Lotus Notes. So if you're still getting emails in Lotus Notes, it's probably time to upgrade your computer system. But just in case, it's still going to look just as good. So there's a couple screenshots in here about Gmail app on Android, iPhone 5S with iOS 8, iPhone 6, iPhone 6 Plus. That's important to making sure that everybody gets the right message and it's not messed up. So to win the inbox, you have to win the spam box too. So this is the spam results on the 2017 Nissan Rogue with the new black email I showed you guys. It passed. It said 9 minor issues, and they were extremely minor. But you can actually run your subject lines, your HTML through a spam checker. And what we actually do is we have a list of all the spam filters. and we'll actually send a live email to every single spam engine there is, and then we can test it back through here and make sure they got through. So it's another way to make sure that your deliverability rate stays way high. Our average deliverability rate is like 98.5. I'm about to show you an almost 100% deliverability rate email here in a minute. First, we're going to talk about reporting. What do you do with all these metrics? This is a normal report we give out to our clients. It's got a bunch of stuff. This is a nice look at a really great campaign we did for Portion North Olmsted. They had solid numbers. After audience segmentation, we clearly can pinpoint the consumers who showed the most interest. When I look at this report, I see 53 people who are ready to purchase a car. So what's next? The 215 people that opened, they're going to get another follow-up message with a little more personalization. And we're going to get that, take the people who were thinking about it, we're going to drive them to the click. So the 53 unique people that clicked are now going to get a personal message from the GM asking for an appointment or a phone call. A lot of dealers never ask me for opens and clicks. It kind of blows my mind. It's like, you just did this great email campaign, and you looked at your numbers, and you were happy, and everything went well, but you don't want those people who showed interest in your campaign. It's like leaving food on the table. So we've got a lot of cool strategies we're doing now where we can automate follow-up emails to opens. We can automate better offers to the clicks. It's like that's the gold you're looking for in your database, and that's where a lot of your new car sales come from. Going over the reporting in detail. So also, these are the most people with propensity to buy, and all you got to do is give them a call and they're ready to rock. So plus I did most of the work for you. I got them in there, and you know everything about them. So a little bit more yet. So also I can show you quick activity. Quick activity is good because you can see what's working in your email, and you can see what they're interested in. So this number in this area I'm showing you here, it's kind of like a click tracker. It shows what performed the best in the email. At a quick glance, I can see they like the Porsche, North Olmsted. They either clicked the Porsche logo or they clicked the text link at the top left there. And that also affects the design. So we're going to look at all this stuff every time we do an email, and we're going to evolve the emails based on what people are clicking. So we like to, put that stuff in motion, and we like to evolve our emails with our audience. Oh, Q&A. That's too fast. Can I roll right through that? Sorry, guys.
Well, there's a lot of content. I think it was really solid, though. We do have a few questions, so we'll go ahead and get to those. And guys, keep them coming. If you do have any more questions, we have a little extra time, so feel free and ask them in the chat or the Q&A. That can be anything about email marketing. You've got an expert here at your disposal. But we'll go ahead and start with the first one. Let's see. We've got a question. How many different vehicle offers can you put on a Pearl?
We can put as many as you want. We don't recommend putting more than 5. In the Pearl, when it's on mobile and it's shrunk down, you're gonna have to click through each one of those. So showing people 10 cars isn't really being personalized. We usually pick those 5 cars. We actually talk to the dealer. What cars do you want to feature on your Pearl? And we usually say top 5 because people are going to lose interest if you start showing them your entire inventory on a Pearl. One of the whole reasons we put them there in the first place is because we did the work for you. We know what you're probably going to drive. We know what you're driving now, and we know what you're probably going to be talked into. So I would recommend 5, no more than that.
Cool. Good to know. We've got another question. Let's see. What analytics tool was that on slide number 24? It doesn't look like Google or Helix. Let's pop back to slide 24. Oh, I'm pressing the wrong button.
I got it. That was my Salesforce Marketing Cloud. We do that's an ESP, email service provider. We use Salesforce Marketing Cloud because we're sending millions and millions of emails out, a year. We're sending just 13, 14 million emails out a year. And we're doing that for every dealer and in behalf of every dealer. So there's a lot of logistics and there's a lot of reasons why we're using the Salesforce Marketing Cloud. Used to be called ExactTarget. And they actually got bought out, one of the biggest Salesforce acquisitions ever. And they basically just took the header off my ExactTarget platform and put that little blue cloud on there and just kind of changed the way it looks. But it's really, really the best-in-class ESP you can get your hands on. I can dig right through this. I can pull all your opens, all your clicks, It's showing me a lot of stuff, and it's really, really detailed and granular reporting. I wouldn't recommend it for a dealer. Most dealers usually send email campaigns out of their CRMs, or using something like Constant Contact's probably better. But we're using Salesforce Marketing Cloud because we're doing bulk and we're doing a lot. So.
Great, good to know. Got one more question for right now, and again, feel free to keep them coming. But what makes some subject lines perform better than others? Are there certain words to avoid?
There's definitely certain words to avoid, and performing. What performs better. It kind of depends on the content. It kind of depends on what you're trying to tell them. An event email. If you're having a tent event at your dealership. A fun tent event email subject line is going to work better than, say just a stock like huge tent sale, all caps. So it really depends on the audience, and it really depends on the message you're trying to get across. We've noticed some of the best subject lines are first name, comma, now's the time to trade in your current year, make, model. So when I get to your inbox, it's Amy, now's the time to trade in your 2012 Honda Accord. Those perform really, really well, and they also go really nicely with a Pearl. So it really depends on the message and the audience.
Okay, great. Well, that's all the questions we have, unless someone else wants to ask a last-minute one, which you are more than welcome to. But in the meantime, I will go ahead and do a little drum roll and give out today's prize. We're very excited to have an American Express gift card for one of the lucky winners. So today's prize winner is going to be, let's see, Tracy Johnson. Congratulations, Tracy. We will be getting with you after the webinar to get you your prize. And in the meantime, I rounded up 2 more questions.
Oh, great.
So congrats, Tracy.
I'll be here all day, folks.
Stick around, because we'll go through a couple more questions. What's your take on Conquest email targeting new customers?
That's a tricky one. I've never been a big fan of Conquest, although I know it works. That's a good one. I'll tell you why I don't like Conquest. It's because I'm having to take someone's word for it that you're an auto intender. And when we say auto intender, that could mean a lot of things to a lot of different people. When I think of an auto intender, I think of my database, my dealer's database, and I think of the people in there who want to buy a car. When other people tell me about auto intenders, it makes me think people that signed up for a magazine somewhere and somewhere checked a box that said, I'd like to receive more information about cars. I've always been a little suspect about auto intender emails. The results are not, I don't think they're great, and I don't think they're reliable. I don't think it's reliable. I like to be able to touch the people I opened and clicked. I like to be able to send them a follow-up. I really haven't seen a Conquest company out there that just crushes it and can show that to me. I need to see a lot of transparency, and I'm a hard sell for Conquest. So that's a tricky question. Whoever sent it.
I've got one more.
Does that answer the question?
I think so. Well, Dusty, you can let us know if you have a follow-up question to that. But we've got one more question. Which emails perform better, custom or OEM? And does Force have a dedicated team members creating custom artwork?
Yes, we do. We have a couple people on the team that create custom artwork. What performs better, OEM or what? Custom?
Or custom.
Custom? I think a mix of both. It depends on what the OEM email looks like. I've seen OEM emails work really, really well, but the ones I see don't have a lot of room for personalization. It's more about the brand. I think OEM email would work really well for Highlines, Infiniti, Porsche, Mercedes-Benz. I think their OEM emails would look really great, and they get really, really great numbers. I've also seen some really great event emails. We have a team here that's constantly designing just unbelievable emails. My team in particular, I'm super proud of. I'll brag on them. They're coming up with great stuff. They're coming up with great subject lines, great content. Their emails look awesome, and they're just going full steam over there. But I would go with custom over OEM.
Okay.
But that being said, we also have custom event emails that are OEM compliant. So we like to start OEM and then, put our own take on it. So you can kind of do both.
Cool. Well, good to know. Hope that answered your question, Gary. So yeah, unless we have any other questions, I think we're about to wrap everything up. Dusty. All right. I suppose if we see good conversions from conquest email, like form submissions and increased sales from those prospects, we'd be on the right track. Correct?
Sure, I agree with that.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, so we're going to wrap everything up. Thank you guys so much for attending today's webinar. I know we had a lot of fun, and I hope you learned a lot. We do these webinars once a month, so stay tuned for us to announce August webinar topics. Congratulations to Tracy for winning, and I'll be sending out a recording. Later on to everybody who attended, so you can watch it again or send it to your colleagues. So I hope you enjoyed, and have a great afternoon. Thanks.